as well, and they'll all be moderated by Mr. Kedar Mishra. So I request them all to be here. I think two of our speakers are yet to come back to the room, so we'll just wait for them a little while, and meanwhile our moderator and Mr. Daya sir from Sri Lanka can please come to the stage and grace us with their wisdom. And I think we can all also give them a big round of applause as we welcome them on stage who have come from different parts of the world. Yeah. Thank you for being a really patient audience. It means a lot. We've been delayed quite a lot, but thanks for being here and listening to our speakers and being a part of this beautiful event. We have other sessions going on parallelly right now at Suraj Mahal and at the bowling alley. We also have beautiful paintings lined just outside this hall in the corridors, which you can also take a look at. And if you're posting any photos on social media, please tag Kalinga Literary Fest. Thank you so much. Kedar sir, all yours now. Uh,
Thank you very much. The post-lunch sessions are always tough. And we are going to talk about the relationship between Kalinga, Sinhala and Nepal. So before Mr. Tulsi Devas and Mr. Adhikari joins, let me start the discussion with Mr. Daya Disa Nayak. And he is not new to Odisha actually. Earlier he had been to Odisha, and there is a long dialogue between Odisha and Sinhala through Mr. Daya Disa Nayak. So sir, my first question to you, how you see Odisha or how you perceive Odisha from Ceylon, and how you know the cultural identity, the cultural existence of Kalinga?
Because Orissa, I really came to know through my friends, writers and poets from Orissa. That is thankfully because long before SARC started, there is a South Asian literary organization run by Ajit Kaur in Delhi, who has an organization called FOSWAL, Foundation of Writers and Literature. So they were doing an annual program, a SARC Literary Festival and a Sufi Literary Festival in Delhi and any other locations. So there I met a lot of writers and poets from Orissa, including Mr. Sitakant Mahapatra, Jayanta Mahapatra, Pratibha Rai, Adhyasha Das, so many writers and poets from here. So my links with Orissa goes back to that time, about 10 years or more. And then my visits were again through Foswal. I came to know Dr. Shruti Das at Berhampur University, and I attended 2 conferences there. Then I also made another visit here. And when our relationship with Kalinga goes back, as I said in the morning, to the time of Tapassu Balluka. So that is the earliest literary
That was in 7th century.
No, that was in Tapassu Balluka lived during the time of the Buddha.
Okay, then it must
because
be. Yeah.
Tapassu Balluka, the 2 traders from Kalinga.
Okay, the 4 traders who first initiated by Buddha.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So then they requested and they are supposed to have been given a lock of hair by Buddha. So they enshrined the part of the hair in Sri Lanka, the Keshatupa. And they also had erected the Keshatupa in Kalinga. So that was the earliest link. And then the legends say, and even our historical document Mahavansa, that the Buddha's tooth relic came from Kalinga. It was brought to Sri Lanka by a princess from Kalinga. That's around the second century AD. And then it has continued, the association has continued from that time. And then in the 20th century, early 20th century, I think somewhere in 1900 or 1910, there had been a visitor from Kalinga, or Orissa at the time, to Sri Lanka, and he had maintained a diary. That diary was translated into English last year. It was published here in Bhubaneswar about his travels in Sri Lanka.
Okay. The trade link between Sri Lanka and Kalinga, that is, there is a long history of Kalinga traders going to Sri Lanka and other parts of Southeast Asia. So, is there any narrative or folk tales or folk plays talking about the relationship between Kalinga and Ceylon?
No, not as such, because I mean, people may not have distinguished the area between Kalinga and part of Bengal, West Bengal. So it would have been all one country.
Yeah.
There are no borders as such. So for people in Sri Lanka, India as an entire country would have been, they may not have distinguished from which area they came, especially the Northeast India, because the languages are almost the same. So, whether it is Bangla or whether it is Odia or whether it is Assamese. So it's like the South Indian languages. Now people think, for example, now people are confused about Tamil and even Telugu.
But in Tamil Nadu, there is a natural connection between Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. There is a significant Tamil population in Sri Lanka, and there is also a conflict between Sinhalese and Tamilians. So, how do you see that actually?
No, really, there has been no conflict till what I would call the post-colonial period. Because in Sri Lanka, people fought together for independence to get rid of the British. They fought together. There were no divisions, no ethnic, no religious, no any other. They fought together, unlike India. There you fought separately for independence.
Okay, but we have a very
after
we
that,
have two different streams actually. But
yeah, that's right. So then, after independence, we broke up. We broke up politically, ethnically, language-wise.
during freedom movement also, as Indians we fought against Britishers. Okay, there was a communal angle to it, Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha, but more or less we were together, we were united against Britishers. Please, sir. So now coming to this conflict, that the Tamil versus Sinhalese. And when you talk about, I don't want to go into the conflict, but my question is, there is a natural negotiating point between Tamil and Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. But other part of Odisha, the other part of India, particularly the Kalinga part, how do you really make it? Do you consider uh, Kalinga as a significant partner historically?
No, I don't know whether we still have that kind of thing, but check out Tamil Nadu and South India. People, I don't think they distinguished anything like that because historically, I think the Tamil people have been living in Sri Lanka at least for over 1,000 years. And there has been no conflict between the people, between the Tamil community and the Sinhala community. There has been never been any conflict. It's all political. Because now the Tamil people live not only in the north and east, but they live all over the country. They live in the south, and the Sinhala people were living in Jaffna. In fact, I have worked for 2 years in Jaffna,
Hmm.
and I have never felt any issue with anybody. And there are so many Tamil people working in the south, in Sri Lanka. And in fact, one of my novels, I try to show that 1,000 years ago and even today, people have no communal feelings against the other. So that is all. It came up only after around 1956, I think.
Yep.
This proposal.
Politics always divide
Yeah.
people.
Democracy divides people.
Politics you can say, but democracy has its own positive side. At least democracy gives you a kind of space where you can get together, where you can interact with each other. Uh, but how my I will come to the last part of our discussion. Do you believe that literature play any role to cement the relationship between the conflicting group, the warring group of Sinhalese and Tamils?
Yes, it can. So one way we can do it is we have to, as I said in the morning, we have to break our language barriers. We have to translate our literature Sinhala to Tamil, Tamil to Sinhala, and in the meantime we have English as the link. And the same way that we can translate books from Odia to Sinhala, Sinhala to Odia. Now, one of the earliest books translated book from Sri Lanka to Odia is the Buddhist book What the Buddha Taught uh, by a Buddhist monk Walpola Rahula. It has been translated into Odia.
Okay.
So that is the earliest book that I know which has been translated here. And two of Odia novels have been translated into Sinhala, but unfortunately from the English translation.
Okay.
Two of Sarojini Sahu's novels have been translated into Sinhala, but then it's not a real translation because it's from the Indian English translation. But more and more have to be done. Even with Nepal, that's what we need. We have to translate our books from one language to the other.
Yeah, this give and take and this interaction, dialogue, and interfacing is very important. Now, from south, let me go to the north. Mr. Tulsi Devas and Mr. Adhikari. Sir, I was asking Mr. Daya Disanayak how he came to know about Odisha for the first time, and he said that he knew Odisha through SARC summit. How you came to know about Odisha? And there is a cultural link between Nepal and Odisha through Jagannath. And earlier it was the Buddhist link that Buddha and Odisha had a very strong relationship. And we were talking about a bit on that also that the first one of his first disciples was a Udiya tradesman, Tapsu. So, how you came to know about Odisha? So, Mr. Adhikari, and as you wrote to me that you are going to speak in Tuta Futa Hindi, but everything is Tuta Futa, sir. All the languages in this world are Tuta Futa, and no one is a perfect speaker of any language. Actually.
धन्यवाद। मेरे हिसाब से नेपाल और उड़ीसा के संबंध के बारे में सबसे पहले तो जगन्नाथ मंदिर का ही रिलेशन है। जब भी नेपाल से आदमी घर छोड़कर साधु संत के संगत में जाने का बात चलता है तो सबसे ज्यादा लोग आने वाली जगह में से जगन्नाथपुरी एक है, बनारस को छोड़कर। दूसरा, जगन्नाथ मंदिर और नेपाल के राज परिवार के बीच में एक अलग सा है। अभी शिवरात्रि में जगन्नाथ के मुख्य क्या कहते हैं, उनको शंकराचार्य कहते हैं या
जगन्नाथ, द किंग इज कॉल्ड गजपति। गजपति,
हाँ, उनको अभी पशुपतिनाथ गए हैं शिवरात्रि के समय में, और उनको वहां उनको टेरिटोरी मानते हैं एक हिसाब से। जबकि नेपाल के राजा जब आएंगे तो यहाँ का चाबी उनको दिया जाता है, मैंने सुना है।
He had a special service in पूरी टेम्पल। उसका जो है पूरी मंदिर का जो एक अपना एक सर्विटर्स का जो है एक लिस्ट है, उसमें द किंग ऑफ नेपाल इज टॉप। एक्चुअली ही गेट्स अ स्पेशल सर्विस
सो
टू ऑफर।
इस हिसाब से सबसे पहले मैं सोचता हूं जगन्नाथ मंदिर सबसे पहले है। उसके बाद जब आप कहे हैं कांतिपुर, नहीं काठमांडू, कांतिपुर, कलंगा, हाँ
कांतिपुर, कलिंगा और
कलिंगा,
ये तीनों की बात कर रहे हैं।
तीनों के बात के हिसाब से तो नाम जो रखे हैं, कांतिपुर काठमांडू का पहले का नाम है, ओडिशा का पहले का नाम कलंग है। इस हिसाब से भी इनके ऐतिहासिक संबंध, इनके एक किस्म की समानता के अवस्था देखते हैं। कोलंबो, कलिंगा और कांतिपुर में दूसरा ये है कि बुद्ध धर्म के हिसाब से ये तीनों को एक ही लाइन में जोड़ा जाता है और ऐतिहासिक हिसाब से परस्पर वही सद्भाव, वही मित्रता इस हिसाब से भी आया है। अब जगन्नाथ मंदिर के बात तो कहे मैंने, लेकिन रामायण महाभारत भी साथ में है। रामायण महाभारत से भी कोलंबो, कलिंगा और कांतिपुर उसी हिसाब से जोड़ा जाता है। और मैं सिमिलैरिटी और भी देखना चाहता हूं तीन देशों के बीच में कि विविधता का संबंध। विविधता इसलिए बोल रहा हूं, 800 माइल का नेपाल है, लेकिन 132 से ज्यादा जनजाति हैं, 90 से ज्यादा भाषी हैं।
90 से ज्यादा? ओके।
30।
ओके, 130 लैंग्वेजेस इन नेपाल।
तो इसी हिसाब से यहां भी और कोलंबो में भी भाषा का अलग अलग,
भाषा के अपनी मोजाइक हर जगह होती है।
वो होने के बाद कल्चरली हर जाति के, हर संप्रदाय के, हर आदमी अपने अपने कल्चर को लेते हैं, फिर भी उनमें जो सद्भाव का डोर है वो तीनों जगह उसी तरह से मिला हुआ मुझे नजर आता है। इस हिसाब से मैं ये तीन को लिंक करना चाहता हूं। बस
बढ़िया बढ़िया मिस्टर, थैंक यू मिस्टर अधिकारी। इट्स अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल पॉइंट, because what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first prime minister, he always said that unity in diversity.
Yeah.
So that diversity can also be a connecting point.
Yeah.
So now coming to Mr. Tulsi Devas, because he was talking about the contemporary literature and the tribal dialects, tribal oral tradition, because we are supposed to talk about the oral literature, oral traditions of Sri Lanka and Odisha. And actually, I was expecting a young boy from Odisha who is a brilliant singer. Pratik Patna, he did not come. So that's so sad. Or else he could have seen some songs. So I just want to ask you, sir, how do you see the tribal link? Is there any tribal link between Nepal and Odisha, or is there only we talk about the mainstream culture, like the relationship between Jagannath and Kathmandu, or Puri or Kathmandu? Even the tantric cult, actually, there is a strong connection of tantricism between Nepal and Odisha.
All right. Thank you. I think both of them have really brought some of the very interesting point or unfold the historical, cultural, or mythical aspects of this, our close relationship, what we have with us, with these three different culture, country, and even of languages. I have to say how we are connected. One is Ramayana, Sita, Rama, and others, Ravana, and others. And the other one is Buddhism, Hinayana, Mahayana Buddhism. I have to make some points clear to you. There used to be really, as you said, historical kind of things. These days, being a student of folklore, I have started reading the importance of oral tradition, what we used to have earlier, and we still living in our part of the world. I have a fight with most of the folklorists from Europe, from America, and then from South Asia. I said, history is based on the written documents and written only on rulers of those countries and places. Very little has been said, written on the people of that country. So the people's history is always been reflected in their oral tradition. That is folk songs, folk ballads, folk tales, They can't read and write, but they try to preserve it, singing, because as we said, Ramayana both have written tradition and oral tradition. And there are different verses from Ramayana, even in Nepal. Maybe equally so many different versions what you have in different states of India.
Yeah, only in Odisha we have more than 60 kinds of Ramayanas, actually.
And are they written? Most of them are oral or they are written?
Some are still oral and some are written, recorded.
We have started now recording the oral Ramayana, what we have with us in Nepal. And now I have to say something, how we are culturally connected and how this Ramayana and other oral texts, Lanka, Thailand, and you can go other side. And that is also the root of Ramayana. Ramayana went from there by, sea, ocean. And it won't take that much of time. But the northern route is the route of Mahayana Buddhism. And because of they had to travel by land, it took many years to reach from here, traveling by land, reaching to Japan. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
and southern route, as I told you, southern route is the route of Ramayana, and
with that route, dances, musics, they went to Thailand, Indonesia, and other parts of that part.
Indonesia, Cambodia.
Yeah, other part of that area, though they have developed their own kind of Ramayana in different places, in different areas, and we had different versions of Ramayana in different places, but the main motive, the main objective of Ramayana is one way and other, the same. The message is the same, and that is more important.
And just I want to interject a moment that I just wanted to know. I'm curious to know that what is the difference between the Nepali tradition of Ramayana and Indian tradition of Ramayana? Because we always believe that Nepal is the Sasural of
birthplace of Sita.
Lord Rama.
Ah.
So it's Janaki's place. So how is there any differences or is there similarities between the Nepali tradition and Indian tradition?
There are many different oral versions of Ramayana in Nepal, and very few studies have been made. The time has come to make the comparative studies of all different versions of Ramayana and see the differences and the similarities and what made them to be together with. This is what is the important. This is what we have to study and bring the people together and make them aware of what, because one way or another place and the people play very important role. And make the different version, local version, they have their own local version. Even the, Guyanese, and Guyanese means they are the singing tribes. They sing different version of Ramayana, even in Nepal. Though they belong to particular places and sing different version. And what I really is, one way and other, in spite of being a different, little bit different, still share the similar kind of, value system, honoring, and the hero, folk hero. Ram was not the hero of Ramayana, also the folk hero of common people throughout this region.
Throughout the Asian regions, yeah.
Yes, throughout. And it's equally popular in Thailand because Thai king are known first Ramayana, second Rama, third Rama. And like you go to Indonesia, you go to even Malaysia, though Malaysia is a Muslim country now, but they have the strong tradition of Ramayana is still there. And they are still singing the Ramayana song as ballads there. The time has come to make this comparative study and bring people together with, and how we are really can share, and local version of different area Ramayana. They are very important. The time has come. Now I have to say to you, history is being is being all the time written based on the rulers of this part of the world and other part of the world. How about the history of the common people? I want to raise this question. 90% of the people's history is not yet being written. And the whole history is one way and other is of the rulers. Only of the rulers. Because all those, and the recorded forms are there with them. People have not recorded those kind of things. They didn't have that facility with them, but they used to sing songs. They used to sing ballads, and their history is recorded in those ballads, in those songs. Now the time has come to collect those songs and ballads and speak for the history of the people. And in order to complete the real history of the nation, we have to take initiative and collect all these different versions of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other different Hindu and Buddhist and other Jain, different kind of,
even the Jatakas, the
yes,
Parigathas.
this is what I mean. Written, there are oral versions. They are equally important. And now that this is what I have been spreading everywhere that I'm going now. And look, the important thing, folklore, as I told yesterday, I think this is a thing of past for Europeans. But this is the thing of present reality in our part of the world. Because 80%, 90% people is still, with their folk tradition. And the folk tradition is not the thing of past. What they think, folk tradition in our part is the present cultural reality of our life.
There is always a fundamental difference between the perception of culture in South Asian or Indian context. We always leave the tradition. We don't believe that it was a thing of the past. Rather, we always believe that we leave the life actually. We leave the
That's
tradition.
what I wanted to say, but I made you to say that.
Thank you.
Because I made you to realize that way, how much importance we have given to our tradition. And tradition is not only the product of past, it is also living right now with us. Folklore is not the thing of past, but the present cultural reality in our part of the world. And people's history is directly related and connected with the folk tradition, what we have with us in our part of the world. And that's why and that's how we are really rich in our cultural tradition. And this is helping, this kind of, fabrics, threads that we have to find out and connect each other in spite of the differences, what we have with us. We have to accept the differences. Differences can help us to be together with, so that you can really go ahead with. So we have to study this cultural living tradition of this part of the world and bring people closer and really give acceptance to local differences, what we have with us.
Mr. Tulsidas is, what I like about the man and the writer is very, very passionate about what he wanted to say, and that is the real commitment of a writer. That what you say, you have to say it passionately. Now going to again Daya Disanayak and
By the
asking,
way,
yeah,
Daya we have been together many times in many national, international, regional programs.
yeah. Now asking Dayaji, so he was talking about the Nepalese tradition of Ramayana, and he is from Sita's place, and as we believe, you are from Ravana's place, the war where it was fought. What is the differences? What are the differences between Indian narrative of Ramayana and Sri Lankan narrative of Ramayana? Or like, as he's saying that there are many Ramayanas in Nepal, do you have that kind of narrative in Sri Lanka also?
Actually, Sri Lanka, there are two traditions. One is the Tulsidas version. Sorry.
Manas.
No, after that, the Ramayana version and the Buddhist version, because there's a Jataka story
Jataka, yeah.
about King Rama. So that tradition is also there, which has been submerged by the Ramayana story. And there is a Ravana tradition, which is local, because Ravana is believed to be a folk hero, and he was said to be a physician. He is said to have written two medical treatises, one on pediatrics. So he is said to have, and he is believed to be from the Yaksha Gotra.
Okay.
He was the leader of the Yaksha Gotra in Sri Lanka, and there are few people who still claim that there has been writing in the Yaksha language.
But in Indian version, we always believe that he was a Brahmin.
No,
Ravana was a Brahmin.
no, that
in
is
Indian.
that's because even in India there are versions, because Ravana's queen was born in India,
Okay.
right? And there are temples here for Ravana. And also the other version is the Jaina version, where in Jaina version, Ravana is a Buddhist. He is a Jain. He is believed to be the 24th in Tirthankara in the next Kala Yatra, Kala Tirtha. Ravana is to be born as a
Tirthankara.
Tirthankara in the Jain tradition. So we have all that. And also there is a very interesting situation where Ramayana author is deified in this place.
Amritsar.
In Amritsar, there is a temple where the creator of Ramayana is deified. People worship him. There's a huge statue.
One of the stations is supposed to have one full station, the different versions of Ramayana, what we have in South Asia, right from Nepal to
Yeah, but unfortunately,
and then how the amalgamation of different religions and different, belief systems have produced different version of Ramayana in our part of the world. And except, how the people's belief system really reflected on different version of those Ramayana, what we have, both in oral tradition, because we have now all this technology developed. We don't have to write it down. You just record the songs, that will come out. And that would really help us to come up with all this new
but
kind of...
till a few years ago, there had been an annual international Ramayana conference.
Yeah.
It's not happening now.
It was happening actually. I believe there is a wonderful book edited by Professor Raghavan on Ramayana traditions of Asia. So that's we are talking about we are encasing Rama in politics, but we have stopped exploring the real Rama Katha and the real. We always say that Rama Katha Lokesu Prachirisati, but we are not talking about the variety and the vivacity of Ramayana and its oral traditions particularly. We are just trying to avoid those traditions. So now coming to the last quarter, so I want a very, very brief comment on the whole discussion, sir, because now there is a warning from the backside to conclude the debate. We can go on because, if it is Ramayana, so it's unstoppable and non-stoppable.
But to be very frank with you, I think the time has come. As I said, the Rama had been, localized. Localized in terms of religion, in terms of the history of that people. So the Ramayana, Rama become Thai Rama in Thailand. Rama in Sri Lanka is a Sri Lankan Rama. In India is Indian Rama. In Nepal is Raman Rama. In Nepal's Rama. So the time has come to make this kind of comparative study, and let's see how people's belief systems and reflected in our history, in written history and oral history, accept the importance of oral history to prove.
And also a recent development in Sri Lanka. There is Hanuman worship now.
Yeah, I can tell you, just I'm going to conclude the session. Ramayana had been written and Ramayanas are still being written. No, not in oral. I can talk to you, I can tell you that there is a lady from Koraput who is who is composing songs on Ramayana from his own mind. He does not know anything, but it's all tribal Ramayanas actually. So we can believe one thing, that Rama Katha or Ramayana Katha or Jataka Katha, whatever it may be, there is a variety of narratives. And there is nothing called one Ramayana or one Rama. So thank you very much for being such a wonderful panel again. And thank you, Mr. Tulsi Divas, Mr. Adhikari, and Mr. Daya Disa Naike. It's all actually very, very enlightening and intellectually charging to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for moderating this session and being here with us. And thanks to all our eminent guests from different parts of the world to be. I think Ramayana is a subject that has no end. You know, from India to Sri Lanka to Nepal, we have all been connected through this. So we'll move on to our next session now. I request you all to please take